Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Yeah. We still expecting a lot of people. I don't know whether they've received the URL link I sent this morning. So we just wait for maybe 2 minutes. Is that okay? Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right.
All right. Okay, welcome to the session. I think we're gonna start. Okay, so we don't waste people's time. So people will be joining later on, then we can continue where we are. So welcome, Kaide Mohammed, if that's correct. So we're just going to start. Some people, we are expecting about 15 people, but we've not. I've sent everybody email this morning, so we'll see how it goes. I'll be switching to admitting people into the meeting as we go on. So just bear with me. So I'll be going to and fro just to let people in. Yeah, so for security reason, I can just allow people randomly in. So I need to check to make sure they be invited to join. So okay, so we're going to start. So as I said before, I'm going to be moving. So sorry about that. I'm going to be moving to let people in. Some of them would have already know me already. I'm Dr. Lokyogo. I am one of the global directors of ICAP. We always run programs and so on. So today is kind of introduction to Python. If you already know how to code, that is a very good thing to do. So if you already know how to code, so just let me know as we go along. I might give you some challenging task to do. Okay, so just let me know as we go along, because I'm pitching it from the introductions point of view. Then we're going to do some coding. This is a practical session, so make sure you've installed Python, or you can use online visual simulator to do that. There's also PyCharm you can use. You can install idle Python. You can use any online one, but you will need to code today. So you will need a Python compiler, so to be able to do that, or translator. Okay, so you need that. So I said before, my name is Dr. Lokyogo. I am one of the global directors for ICAB. Our website is there, ICAB, and also we already created a certification portal, which there's a link. There's a link from our main website to that. So we've already started testing that platform as well. Okay, so if you want to join our organization's ICAP, just if you go to our website, there's more information is there. If you need any help, just email myself. The email is on the screen, or you can email us directly. We always respond to email within 24 hours. Okay, so we'll respond to that. Okay, so if you can just if you put your audio on mute, that would be good. Okay. So what we're looking at today is how the artificial intelligence actually work. I know it's a biggie. It's a biggie in terms of this. So we might not cover everything, because 1.5 hours to cover everything is not just possible. But I'm going to try as much as possible to introduce Python, how Python is used, and also how artificial intelligence work with a set of data and also with the line of code. So we'll look at that. We'll look at basic Python program. We'll look at variables, data types, and then we'll look at some functions and so on and so forth. Okay, hopefully we should get something. NumPy and Pandas, it's going to be a tricky one because you have to install it. You have to install the library to make sure it works. So we'll see where we get onto. This is our disclaimer. Disclaimer is going to let you know that what we're learning here is just educational. Okay. And it's a lawful purposes. So we are in the cybersecurity fields. We have ethics. Ethics that we have to make sure we use technology in a good way. Okay, so this workshop is just to teach programming concepts, and also so you are responsible for complying with your laws in your countries and also regulations and so on. So any misuse of information presented or include any authorized access, illegal activities or malicious conduct is strictly prohibited from what we've learned. So we in the ICAP accept no responsibility for any unlawful or unethical, unauthorized use of material presented during our training. I guess we're not responsible for that. Okay, so that's our disclaimer. So they expect me to read it. So I've read it already. So we'll just go straight. So as I said before, you will need a computer already, of course. You will need a Python environment, or you can use Google Colab. It's an online one. That's what you can use. But you have to have an account, Gmail account, able to do that. Okay, so it's collab.researchgoogle.com. Or you can use Jupyter, or you can use PyCharm, or you can use any locally installed Python idle. Okay, so you need that to be able to do it. Okay, so you're just going to go straight to what we're doing today. So computer programming is where you write code, basically, where you write code, and you can able to manipulate. Well, when I say manipulate, it doesn't mean that you can alter or make it for bad. As I said, for this session, it's about good. So computer will do that does not understand anything. So you already understand binary, unless if you go to quantum computing, so they use qubits. Okay, so that is, yes, it's already here being developed. We're not going to dive into quantum computers today, but the computer we have today is on binary digits. So the computer does not understand your language, just zeros and one. That's it. So if you know how to control the computer code, okay, in binaries and so on, so you can write instructions that will control the computer. But the computer is just a tool, is a robot. So you tell him to do whatever you want to do, he will do it. Okay, with a line of code. So programming is very, very vital to be able to do that. So what do computer programming do? So programmers, myself, I'm a programmer, I spent years in coding. So we'll look at all the different programming languages as well. Those who are aspiring in cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, is vital for you to know a little bit about coding. At least basic knowledge of programming is very vital, because some of the things we do today, they are all controlled by code. As I tell you, they're talking about today every day is code. So understanding the concept of coding is very vital if you want to be in this field for full time, and that is your aspirations. Then I will advise you learn a basic concept of programming. Okay. So objective is the program, correcting code errors, rewriting program for different operating systems, secure programs against cybersecurity threats, and so on. So it's very vital to know how to code. I've written a lot of articles about coding, that if kids are taught how to read and write, why can't we just be taught how to code? Because everything around us is controlled by a line of code. So if we're reading, and most of everything we do is about reading, now code controls everything we do. So it should be very vital for everybody to know how to code. Programming languages, there are a lot of them. So you might have known already, lots of them: Python, Java, C, C++, C#, Ruby, PHP, and so on. And also we have other tags like HTML tags, CSS, JavaScript for website design. So programming, people find it a bit difficult. Yes, it is difficult because you learn it. If you learn one programming language, it's like learning a new language. But once you understand one language, it's quite easy because the line of code, how you write it in Python is quite different how you write it in Java. It's quite different how you write it in C or C#. So it become more complex when you move from programming language to another, but they all have input. Okay, so we're looking at it. So today we will focusing on Python programming. So Python is a general purpose programming language, which is kind of high level language. So we have high level language, low level language, and so on. We're not going to dive into that, but it's a general purpose programming high level language, and also have syntax, which is kind of like line of command, how you command it, and also have extensive ecosystem of libraries. Libraries are short program you can call into your program. So for example, I can say import, okay, import random, okay, or random number. I can import it. These are short program that's already been stored. So instead of me rewriting that particular library, I can call it. If I want to put date and time in my code, I can just import the date and time, then I can use it in my code. So instead of writing a short program that will be able to calculate time or date, I just import it to my program. Okay, so it makes programming much more quicker for we programmers. So because it's already built into, so many programming language have libraries that's already built into it. It's just like some people say, well, it's an API, but it's not really an API. Well, almost similar to that. It's widely used for data analysis. So those who are going to data analysis fields, for you to be a data analyst full-time or senior data analyst, you must know how to code. You must know how to use Python. Okay, so for data analysis. Artificial intelligence is used for that as well, because you can use it to arrange a lot of trained data. You can train artificial intelligence line of code with trained data. So you have to know how to use Python or programming language for artificial intelligence. Okay, a lot of people go into the theory. That is fine. It's not that it's not good, but know how the line of our code in artificial intelligence works is very vital. Machine learning, we'll look at the differences between artificial intelligence and machine learning. It's quite different. There are web development as well, automation, science, educational research, also used for gaming. Okay, most programming, gaming softwares, they use Python to do it. Okay, for example, Fortnite, they use Python to develop it. So there are a lot of gamer or game developer use Python as well. So how does it work? These are the basic things we need to know if you are good. So computer programs, you have input, you have to accept input, processing, and output. Okay, so you must have these basic concepts. These are basic concepts. Let me just check whether somebody is ready to come into the session. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, just allow people in. Okay. So programming have these basic concepts: input, process, output. That's it. Okay, it's very straightforward. So what we mean by that, input is variables. Variables like text, numbers, yes, no, true or false, and so on. So process is calculation, sorting, searching, a lot of things like that. Output is where you print that. You print your, so let's say, for example, I want to do a calculations of daily or weekly wage of people. So they're being paid hourly. And so what we need to do as input, we will have hourly rate, number of hours. So those are two input. So if you want to calculate how much they're going to be paid, which is the process, will be hourly rate multiply by, okay, number of hours. So that gives us that is the process. The output will be total amount to be paid, which is the result of that process of calculations. So that's kind of, so programming is just these three basic concepts of it. So these three basic concepts are very vital in programming to understand it, because it makes programming much more easier, because you have to know what kind of input you're going to put there and what is going to calculate, or what is going to process, what is going to manipulate. It doesn't have to be only calculations. It can be sorting, searching, and so on. Now, we're going to look at data types. You cannot do programming without looking at data types. You must know your basic maths. Okay, so you don't have to be genius in maths. You don't have to be a lot of qualification in math, but you have to know your basic maths in programming. Okay, so these are data types. I said earlier that if we go back here, we have input. The input, we have variables. We'll look at that in a minute. These are the basic foundation of programming. So you have the variables, then you're going to have the data types. So if we look at this, these are data types. So we have character, just one character. Okay, let's say male, female, M and F. Yeah. String. A string is a text that is more than one character. It's just a text. Let's say, for example, yeah, country, town, yeah, name. They are all string. Integer. Okay, integer can be real numbers, which is kind of like whole number. Yeah, a whole number. Okay, like say age is 32, 52. Those numbers, they are just integer. Float is decimal. Sometimes we call float as real. Yeah, real number. Or float is either float or real number. It's called decimal. So like say height is 2.3 or something like that. Then we have Boolean. Boolean is true or false, yes or no. So where you want to take this, where computer want to take decisions, it's either yes or no, true or false. So you can branch different area. So if I say, well, if age less than 13 or less than, like in the UK here, any child that is under 16, they are not allowed to open social media account. So I can create a kind of AI tools to be able to test the age. So if you input age, they will say, well, if age less than 16, yeah, okay, decline account opening. Else, which is no, it's not less than, else, yeah, open account. So you have those kind of decisions that have to be made. Okay, so data type is very, very vital in terms of making your program much more better. So you have to understand the data you're going to put into it. Okay, as I said earlier, you have to know your basic maths. Yeah, basic maths, plus, minus, divide. Okay, so so those are simple ones everybody else should know. It's basic maths. You have to know your at least multiplication times table. It's quite basic maths. You have to know. Okay, so division and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to go through it. So here is, you have to know the operators as well. Okay, so partial, division, okay, and so on. Less than, greater than sign, less than, not greater than. All these are very vital. You will see why it's so important later on. So as I said earlier, if age less than 16, yeah, print, you are not allowed to open an account without your parents' consent. Else, you can open an account. So you can see how this sign can be used, because I said age less than. So I'm going to use the less than sign, so not using the word. You can't use the word, you have to use the less than sign. In some programming languages, you can use words to describe some mathematical calculations. You can. As I said before, programming languages, the way you write the syntax is quite different. So Python programming is quite different from the way you're going to construct it in Java or C# and so on. Okay. Stop me at any time to ask questions, please. Okay. Right. So we're going to look at this program straight away, and we're going to start to code in a minute. Okay. So make sure you load your Python idle, or whether you're using the one installed in your computer or the one you're going to use in a web-based one. Okay. So we're going to code in a minute. Right. So if we look at this code, for example, say print, hi, my name is Fred. Okay, so I put that F name equals input. What is your first name? X name equals what is your surname? Then print that. Okay, this kind of, so in this code, you can see that we have two input. Yeah, input. We have two, F name and S name. Two outputs, both the print statements. So the print statement is print is an output, means that it's going to display. Yeah, it's good. That's what it's going to be displayed on the screen. Okay, we're not going to go through details today how you can convert the Python code to executable files to write it into a text file. We can do that. You can write your output instead of display on the screen. It can display on the screen and at the same time write it into your hard drive. Okay, that's kind of, we're not going to go to that far today. So next, if you look at it. So to process data, add the variables to our string, again, and so on. So you look at here, so look at it. So that is a variable, okay, which you said earlier. The variable is a X name is a variable. You see how they link up. So those are the variable. Data type, they are strings. They are string because F name, okay, is going to be a name that is actually entered. So let's say Mary Jones will be the value. So we cannot actually enter the value yet. That's what we call it variable. Variable is something that will change all the time. It always changes. Because it's going to change, so we have to use a variable. So this variable name is used to store, it's a storage location in the memory, in the computer memory, in the RAM. So when you create a variable name, it goes, the computer create a storage location in the memory and stores the value there. So Mary Jones will be stores there, ready to be fetched out later on as well. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to write a code now. We're going to write a code. So we're going to write a code. So if you can write, if you have your book, that's fine. You write it down and we're going to code it together. We'll code this together. So we're going to write a code that asks for a user to enter their first name, surname, hair color, and output the fellow string. So we're going to output it. So hi, my name is that, then it's going to talk about it. Okay. So that's kind of thing we're going to do first. Right. So make sure you have your Python software open up. Okay, so let me just let people in. Okay, yeah, everybody okay with that? So we're gonna write. So that's what we're gonna write. So you're gonna write yours. So I'm gonna write mine. Then we're gonna, yeah. Oh, we could write together now. So I'm gonna pull this in the corner. Can everybody see my screen? Okay, so. Okay, so I'm going to make it a bit, so I'm going to write the code below that. I'm going to go and run mine later on. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, so can everybody see what I'm doing here? Okay. Okay, I'm going to write it here first so that everybody can see it. I'm going to copy mine to paste it in Python, in Python executable software. So to able to translate it. So the first thing I'm going to do is, so I'm going to I'm going to say f name equals input. So that input enable me to input the value of f name. So f name there is a variable. So what is your name? Okay, so yeah, surname. So I'm going to call it s name. So variable, your variable have to be kind of linked to what you're trying to do. So it's better to have a sensible variable name. What is your surname? Okay. You might ask me, why did I have to put the brackets? Why do I have to put the quotes and so on and so forth? Yeah. Okay. So I will explain in a minute before we move on to 11. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is that the input here, this input here, which I cannot, let me see if I highlight it. The input here is a syntax. You must use that. It's a must. It's like learning different languages around the world. You have to use their syntax in the way they pronounce, in the way they express sentences and paragraphs. In Python programming, input is a syntax. So when the compiler, when the translator, because this is English-like, which is kind of high-level language, so it have to be translated to binary codes. So when it's being translated by the Python compiler, it will say input. It will know that you're trying to input a value of this variable. Okay, you got to input, you got to type in from the keyboard. So you understand that. So then this bracket here and this quote here, it displays is more intuitive. It creates that human machine interactions. So what is your name will be displayed on the screen, because that will enable you to know that you need to input the value. Okay, so because you're asking the question, so it's going to be displayed on the screen. Okay, all right. So let's move very, very quickly. So after that, they said hair color. So I'm going to use hair color underscore. Now, this you might say, okay, what is he doing? Okay, I will explain in a minute. Now, in a variable, in a variable name, you cannot use space between two words. It will be classified as two variables. Okay, so either you close them up or you use underscore to be able to close them up. It must be one word for variable, one word. So you either close the word or you use underscore to do them. Okay, so let this get, let me close it. Okay, so input. Here, color. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me assume I'm going to add age. I just go ahead and say, let's say age. And something's going to change in a minute. Okay. What is your age? You might say, oh, what's going on? Okay. Well, what's going on here is that int is integer. It's integer because it's going to be a whole number. Yeah, it's going to be a whole number. So I have to put integer there. If it's going to be decimal, I'll put float. Yeah, I'll put float there. Because it's going to be a whole number, yeah, so I put int, which is integer. So the computer understands that the value of the age is going to be a whole number. So I put int. Input, that means I'm going to input the value of the age. Then that is a human machine interactions in display on the screen. I put two brackets at the end because there's one bracket here, bracket open there, bracket open there. So there are two on the left hand side. So I have to put two on the right hand side. So it's balanced. Yeah. The next bit is that they said output. So I'm going to print. Output means print. Now, print have to be a small letter, not capital. If you use capital letter in Python, it will not take it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that say hi, my name is. Okay, so my name is. So I'm going to put the quote bracket comma. Then I'm going to put in the variable. Okay, you might say, well, what's going on? Okay, I will explain in a minute. So f name. Okay, because that is the variable I took here. So that's the variable here. The variable I have to match. Okay, so f name. Okay, then comma s name. Okay, comma, and they said okay, first name, last name. So then you have beautiful. Okay, hair. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to put that there, comma, the hair color. Okay, hair color. So which is the variable, comma, then here, hair. Bracket close. Right. So you can see this code already. So what we're going to do now is that if you already finished, you can go and run it. Okay, so I'm going to move on in a minute. So you can look at the code now. You can see that what I've done. This piece of code, you can see, so programming some app of some artificial intelligence will contain billions and billions of line of code. Just this small code is taking us a little bit of time to be able to code it. So coding is you have to be very calm. You have to be very relaxed. You have to have a thinking skills. You have to be able to think fast and see. And also programming, sometimes they contain error. It might take you weeks, even months to be able to figure out what is wrong with your code, because it's going to give you some error messages. You might not use the syntax very well, or you mix something up, or you mix some of the guiding rules in that programming language. It will take time for you to be able to decode it or to remove the bug. All right. Okay. So let's go and able to run it. So run your code and see what you got. So I'm going to go and run mine now. So you might see mine on the screen. Can anybody see mine here? So new. So I'm just going to go and paste mine and run it. So it might contain some code, but contain some errors. Okay, so it might contain some errors because what might have happened is that when you copy something from somewhere, sometimes it doesn't align properly. So I'm just checking mine out to make sure it aligns properly. Because actually you have to, yeah, so there are some small errors there which I need to correct before I run it. Okay, so okay, so let's see whether this will. If not, we just go and correct, do some more corrections on that. Then, so you have to save it. Okay, so you say it. Okay, on it. Okay, so it's complaining of here. Okay, so anybody able to run their own first?
Yeah.
Yeah, does yours work? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so mine I need to just touch over there. Anyway, so what you're looking at here, the programming, is that what we've done is able to write a simple program that able to accept three input, and at the same time print, which is output. There's no processing involved here, so you didn't do any processing at all. But we're able to understand that when you code, it takes a little bit of time and effort, and able to use the right syntax for it to be able to work. Any questions so far before we move on? I'm going to move on because if not, we're going to be stuck here. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on a little bit to other areas of the program today. So any question, please, you have to stop me at any time. So just let me let somebody in to the program. So okay, so that's kind of the first thing we've done is to able to look at variables, how variables work, how do we use variables, how do we process the rules for forming variables, and some of the syntax inputs. So we use inputs as a syntax. We use print as well. Right. So we're gonna look at it. So if we look at this one, is you can go and code this. Okay, so you want to code this, that'll be great. I will explain it why you're coding it. So this one is able to assign a name. Okay, that is a variable. Name is a variable. But what I've done is that I've made it what we call constant. So I store what we call Sam is assigned to name. Age is been assigned 25. The height is 1.75. So name equals input. What is your name? So it's going to is requesting. So what I'm trying to do is to use if-else statements. If-else statement is very useful because it's for decisions. You want the program to make decisions on its own. It's just like artificial intelligence. You want artificial intelligence code to make decisions based on sets of data. Okay, so what I've done is to give the program a set of data, simple data. So Sam is a data, 25 is a data, and 1.75 is a data. So based on this data, I want the program to make decisions for me. It should make a decisions because it's got a set of data. Okay, so artificial intelligence is more like that. You have to give the program a set of data. So when you give a set of data, the program will be able to use those data to make decisions based on the input of the user. So if I ask the user, if I'm a user and I ask the software, I say, look, how did I secure my password? Which we're going to do in a minute. It will be able to tell me because those set of data or instructions have been built into the code. So it's built into the code. So it's based on those set of data or the trained data that the artificial intelligence software is going to make decisions. So like this one, if you code it right now, if I would say go and try it, you code it, it's going to take decisions because you're saying that, well, I give you this set of data, Sam is a data, 25 is a data, and all that. So the name, which is going to prompt you to input a name. So the user will not see this set of data. They will not see it because it's built into the software. So when this software, this code is being executed into the machine language, so the machine language is the binary code. So when you write code in English, we call it high-level language. When you not execute it, like in Python, you run it. When you run the code, it's translated into machine language, binary code. So most of those things that will be hidden from you, you don't see it. So the data we don't see it. So what we see is that interactions. That interaction, those human-machine interactions, but there are hidden things that you don't actually see, like the data, the trained set of data, the line of code, you don't see it. But in this case, you're going to see both of them. You're going to see the screen divided into two. So you have your source code, which is all this code, They have the object code, which is when it's translated to machine language, when you start to input it. Okay. So anybody able to run this code already before we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Does it work? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So what you've done here in this practice one is that we give a set of data, and this set of data, based on those set of data, you're able to do something about it. So you fetch those data and make decisions on its own. Everybody okay? Any question before we move ahead? Any questions? Okay. Right. So you look at this code. So what we're going to do now, I want people to go and code this on your own based on what we've done so far. You're going to create a variable for name, age, city, favorite number, okay, and so on. And you print the value and their data. Okay. Now, okay, so yeah, if you want to give it a go, that would be great. So what we're doing is that you're creating a variable. So the name can just be a name. Name equals, then you input it. Age equals but that age, don't forget, that age have to be. So okay, so I can lead you on it. So the name could be, so you just say so name equals input. So this is the basic. So input, then you say, well, enter your name. Anything you put there will be displayed. So it doesn't really matter. You don't have to follow a set of rules in the human machine instructions or that intuition. You have to write what you want to be displayed on the screen, but it have to be relevant. So if I'm entering the customer name, then the customer name have to reflect the type of input. Okay, so the name there is input. Okay, then that human machine interaction, I could say, oh, please enter your name, or please enter the customer name. It depends what you put that. So enter your name. Okay, so enter your name, or you can make it like a command. Again, just say politely. So it depends on what you write. Enter your name. Okay. So don't forget. Okay. So yeah. So enter your name. The age then will be integer. It's going to be a whole number. Input. Okay. At the same time, you put in that. Okay. Enter your age. Okay. City. Okay. So it's going to be input. Okay, favorite number. Yeah, you can use that. Favorite number, so it's a number. So you can make so it's not decimal. So definitely it's going to be integer. So go look at integer input. Yeah, at the same time, then you go say enter your favorite number. Okay, learning Python is going to be a string. So okay, so you're going to put that so input. Yeah, and so on and so forth. Some people will put string first. They will say str, which is a string. You might come across that. Okay, but it doesn't really matter, because if you put string str, it's a string, just like we said, integer or float. But it doesn't matter, because in Python programming, input, once you put input, the default is a string, the default. So when you put input, automatically Python recognize that variable to be a string anyway. So it's a default. Yeah, so you don't need to put str, okay, as input. So once you've done that, they say print the value of their data. So what you just need to do is to print those values. It's quite straightforward. So you print, okay, small p. So don't forget. So automatically, so it might give me a capital there, but it have to be small p. So you print. Yeah, it depends on what you want to print. They say just print the value. So if you're going to print the value, that means you just enter only the variable. So I could say input name, print name, age, city, made in Python. Yeah. Okay, and so on, yeah, and close it. It will just print the data. But if you want to make it much more better, you can say, well, your name is this. Okay, so I can say, well, your name is, come on, yeah, name. Your age is, your age is, comma, age, and so on and so forth. So you can print your name is, then you just put the name you enter that. So if you enter Jones, you go say your name is Jones, your age is 22, your and so on and so forth. So it depends on how you're able to code it. So what you put in, that's what it's going to give you. So it depends on the line of code. Once it's executed, then it can able to it just obey your all the instruction because you instructed the computer to do something for you. So it's based on those line of instructions. So when they talk about artificial intelligence, as it's not a machine, we code it. Even humanoid AI that is going to be working in the factories and so on, and it's going to be in our home. It's already in some homes now. It's I think somebody's humanoid that costs maybe $250,000 US dollars to buy in your home. They are all programmed in the line of code. So there's a myth that people think that artificial intelligence is something like kind of this kind of alien or some kind of technology that no, it's not human brain. It just me and you and other people, they program it just like what we're doing now. Okay. Any question on that? Anybody able to run it and it works? Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna once it works, just let me know because we're gonna move on very quickly. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? Okay. So we're gonna move on to more complex stuff. So these are the basics. So don't forget these are the basic ones. This program can make decisions using if, elif, and else. We use that. We use elif because what you're trying to do is that you're trying to instruct the machine to do something for you, and you want to able to tap into the brain or the computer, the processing power, to say in this code, for example, I want to import a set of data like a score. Yeah, score. So if the score is greater than 70, it should print excellent. Elif means that it's still the same yes. So how this program is going to work is this. So the first if is yes, if that's correct. Elif is also yes, if that's correct. Else is no, if it's not correct. Yeah, okay. So what is actually happening? Don't forget that is not part of the code. I'm just kind of explaining it. What is it? Okay, so this yes is part of the code that will say that the code we agree with. So what will happen is this. So if the score is greater than equals 70, that means if it is yes. So that means the score you enter in the input is greater than 70 or 70. If that is correct, it will print excellent. Elif is another step of the yes. So you can put elif for that. So many elif, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you can always use elif. That means that you want to make a code that is always yes. In the terms of decisions, so you can put several decisions in your code. Okay, which we're going to do in a minute. We're going to write a code in a minute on. Let me just check what we're going to do. We're going to do the code on mental health. Yeah, using AI to determine mental health. Don't forget, this is a diagnostic for training purposes. So, okay, so don't forget. Okay, so what is going to happen is that it's going to check if it's yes. If it is yes, then it print that. Else means no. There's no categories match. Then therefore it's going to print needs improvement. It's just going to, yeah. So that means it's not greater than or equals to 70. It's not greater than or equals to 50. That means that anything less than that, okay, so that means it's going to be less than 50. Anything less than 50, okay, then that will print needs improvement. Okay, so these are kind of way whereby artificial intelligence can be built in a set of data that is already built into the code, and it can be able to make those decisions. You okay with that? Yeah. Anybody able to run it to make sure it works? Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to build artificial intelligence, okay, codes on mental health. Okay, don't forget these are practice purposes. It's not a fully tested mental health diagnostic, artificial intelligence diagnostic. So don't forget that. So it's not fully tested. So I will share it with you now so you can get a copy of it. Then so that we don't run out of time in terms of coding it. So I'm going to share the link to it so you can able to download it. Just give me a sec. Let me share that. So I'll share with everyone. And at the end of the session, I'll share the resources. All the resources will be shared as well. So I'll copy the link into the chat so you can able to get access to it. Just give me a minute. Okay, so just give me a sec. Any question where I'm doing this? Anybody want to ask questions so far? Okay. All right. I'm just going to open it. So yeah, so I'll open it for now so we can. Can everybody see that? Can everybody see it? Everyone?
Could you please zoom it a bit?
Okay. All right. No problem. Just give me a sec. Let me do that. A minute. Okay, I'm going to put it on the chat. So I think that will be much more. Yeah, okay, but it's on the chat. So if you open it on the chat, that'll be great. So you got your own copy. Yeah, everybody okay with that? So if you go on the chat, you click on it, you should get your own copy of it. Yeah. Okay. So once you get your copy, yeah, you can copy it. You can, yeah. So I will expect, yeah, you copy it and go and paste in your code. Then I will talk through it in a minute. So you go and paste in your code and we can talk through it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to talk through it in a minute, then we'll try and run it. So what you're going to do is that you can go and able to check it out and see. So the first one, the print at the top, it just anything, and it's kind of that human machine interactions. You have mental health, yeah, mental health check-in. So anything you put there will also be displayed on the screen. So this is not a medical diagnosis. I'll make it very clear. Okay, so it's not so it's not a medical diagnosis, it's just a training purposes for that. So these are the questions, because in the mental health you have to ask questions. You have to, so if you are a mental health worker, you have to ask your client, your patient, some questions. So based on those questions, you can be able to diagnose them. Yeah, there'll be diagnostic on it. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do, is to, so you can put several questions you want. But don't forget, that is not a bracket. If you look at it here, that is not a bracket. So check and make sure you use the right symbol for it. Okay, it's on your keyboard. So any question, you can put several questions there. So those questions will be there. Then the score is going to score it. So that score equals 0. It means that the score is set to 0. It depends on the number of scores that will determine the diagnostic. Yeah. So you can look at that. So if score equals 0, print your answer don't suggest any of the symptoms as severe. Yeah. So ELIF, which we will look at before ELIF, if score less than or equals to 2, you reported some symptoms, considering monitoring how you feel and talking to someone you trust. Else, that means that it's greater than. So it's not less than this time, it's greater than. So that means the score is greater than. That means you report severe symptoms, speaking to a qualified mental health professionals. Now, so you might say, okay, how does that work? Well, we've put a set of data, trained data. So there's data already there. So we've got a lot of data. All those questions is kind of like database. So you can ask a lot of questions like that, a lot of database. So As I say yes and so on and so forth, it calculates, do some calculation of the score. For Q in questions, yeah. So that means that it's asking so it's going to select a score based on the question. So that is a question variable. So here you have the questions there as a variable. Okay, answer. So the answer is that what you answer, which is if you answer input, which is a number of questions, it scores that plus yes or no. Strip dot lower means that it's talking about the calculations of the numbers. So if answer equals yes, score equals +1. So each question is 1. Yeah, each question is 1. So it added up, So as the scores up, as it adds them up, it will be able to look at it. Depends on the total score at the end, it will be able to use it to determine it. When you select yes or no, no is kind of like 0, yes is kind of 1. So you're able to add it up, and from there you're able to do the calculations and give you the diagnostic. Okay, so this is almost similar. I'm not going into details what we've done with University of Dodoma in Tanzania in terms of mental health. There's just a small scratch I picked from that, but it gives people a lot of things to think about. So you can use artificial intelligence to solve society problems, because you have these problems in many society. They have this mental health and so on and so on. Society is very severe. We can be able to design artificial intelligence that can be used to be able to solve society problems before it get out of hand. So this can be developed further, which we've done before with University of Dodoma in Tanzania, to make it a full-blown app, develop it, then people can be able to download it, and they have this thought of different things in their head. They can go there and they can able to ask a lot of questions, and it will be self-diagnosed, and automatically it connected straight away with the automatic dial a number, whereby a mental health professional is on the other line, and they just answer and they just talk to the person. Okay, so we program in a way that it connects individual citizens to mental health professional automatically. Once those kind of questions are answered and calculation is being made, and automatically say, oh, this person is in danger of mental health. So it's going to be, so it's better, automatically connect so the artificial intelligence automatically connect them to healthcare professionals for help. So you can see how most of these artificial intelligence coding is very vital, that can be used to solve society problems. Any questions so far? Anybody able to run it? Does it run?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. You can, if you want to develop this further, you can do that. You can add more questions. The more you add more questions, but you have to change. You can also change the output as well. You can put more print options. You can change more scores, because here is based on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different questions. You want to add even 20 questions, or even in our mental health project we did to develop, we have over, I think it's about over 1,000 questions that can be randomly selected. It depends on the first questions that will trigger another question being popped up randomly. It depends on. So it takes time for us to be able to develop that. But you can see how artificial intelligence can be developed in terms of to solve society problems. Okay. Right, so you're going to get access to this as well. So it's there for you to be able to go and use. So make sure you run it and able to try it, and you can able to develop it further on. If you want to develop it to make it, to practice with it, that would be great. All right, we're going to move on a little bit. Okay, so I'm ready to take questions before we move on to the next stage. Any questions so far? Okay. All right, there's something called loop. Okay, so we've already done that. We know how to do this already. That's just confident using the if statement, elif statements. We know how to do that. Okay, so I said before, the if statement, elif statement, they are all decisions. Decisions that artificial intelligence can take, it depends on the set of data that has been used as well. So if statement, elif statement, else statement, they are very vital in terms of decision taking in software. This is loop. Okay, a loop is in the program, enable the program to continue to run. Okay, it's going to run. So we have for loop, while loop. We're not going to go into details. If not, we're going to be here forever in terms of loop. But loop is very vital so that the program continues to run until certain decision is made. So for example, here, if I run this code for number equals range of 1 to 6, print number, yeah, it's going to print different number from 1 to 2 and so on and so forth to 5. So it's going to print different number at the same time. So just keep on doing it, keep on doing. It's kind of repetitive. Now, so many factories where it's automation, yeah, they use loop as part of the programming instructions to instruct these robots to continue to do the same repetitive task all the time. Yeah, they repeat it because it's based on those instructions. This is just a number I put there, but you can be able to write code that can instruct robots or humanoid or something like that to be able to do repetitive tasks all the time until certain things is met, or until you stop it, or until you say it, or until you're able to have kind of instructions or instructions that will make it to stop, or it could be voice input or something like that, then it will stop. Okay, so this is very right. So you look at here, for example, score equals, so go 65. So these are set of data given to the code. Okay, and we'll print all the scores. So give it the set of data. From the set of data, the program can be able to go and pick from that. We're not going to do that because we're going to go and write some code in a minute. Okay, so that's another thing that is very, very helpful in development of artificial intelligence, that you can instruct the software, the instructions, to continue to do or do certain patterns, a certain task all the time until a condition is met before it stops. Okay, and that's very, very vital. So look at this. So these are the solutions. So score, so I'm just going to explain it, but you'll get all this code anyway. I'll send all the resources. Score equals 65. So I'll put some set of data, train data there. Okay, this hash there, you can look at, so what is that hash doing? Hash, then print every score. That hash is for documenting. You document your program so that people can understand it. So what I meant is that when you put hash here, that one there, let me just highlight it a bit. Yeah, it's for documentation purposes. It's a good practice to document your code so that you know what is happening at each stage. So the hash there, it doesn't, so the computer will not execute that line of code. It will not execute, it's non-executable. All it does is that it just, so that you know what is happening at each point. Because some code contains millions and millions of lines of code. So it's very difficult to understand what is going on at each section of the code. So you can use, we call it comment. Okay, so this line is a comment. It's a comment because it just kind of, it makes you to know what's going on. So let's say print every score. That means that is going to print every score. Here, print greater than, yeah, that means it's going to print anything that is greater than, you know what I mean? So it's kind of documentation purposes. So what I've done in this code is that, so let me just remove that. So that is not, okay, all right. So it prints every code for score and score. So it prints the score. So any score, if I enter anything that is within this score, it's going to print it out. If it's not there, it's not going to print it. So what this program is doing is that I fetch the program with a set of code, a set of data. So this set of data, so the program is going to fetch from that set of data that fed into that code. Only that set of data. That's why sometimes, that's what we're talking about, artificial intelligence safety design. Because if the trained data and instructions are wrong, yeah, the artificial intelligence is going to take a wrong decisions and so on. So if the data pulled there is biased, and those data is biased, that means that the response of the code is going to be biased as well. So in the design, a safety design of artificial intelligence is ensuring that these codes are well tested. evaluated before deployment. Because if not, okay, it's human that designed the code. We create the code, you create the code. So if human design the code, there's likely there could be bias. There's likely could be an error in those code that we don't really know exists. So if we deploy the code and it's artificial intelligence, then that could be very dangerous for the users as well. Okay, so these are kind of things. So that's kind of how I start. So what we're going to do now again, we're going to go and do some another code. So this code this time it's a small code, is to detect email spam detection. It's a very basic one. It's not a big one. So so I'm going to share that as well. So we'll go and so let me just share that. So go and code it. It's a simple one. I didn't make it very big because if not, it will take us forever to be able to finish it up. So I'm going to put it on the chat as well. So this word is an email spam. Just for it's a simple one. Okay, so it's a simple one, email. So you have to type the email, or you copy your email and put it there. But actually, if we can write this code to be very automated, yeah, it could be automated. We're not going to go into that. If it's automated, it might take us forever. So you have to install a lot of tools to make sure it works. But in this case, very simple one. It's a simple one about just kind of detections, able to see how. So what this would do is, I'm just copy mine to Python idle, so we can able to see that. So the email there is input. Type your email here. In some artificial intelligence, it will be it will be automated. So you can go and fetch the email from your spam email box. Yeah. So that it can be done very, very easily. But we're not going to do that today. So in this case, you can just type the email or copy some email and paste it when it gives you an input. Okay, so when it prompts you for input, you can type it or copy an email and paste it. Then from there, based on the keyword used in that email, so you can see the data. Okay, so you can see the set of data, trained data. That is, so what I've done is that, or what this software is done, is created a set of trained data. So that could contain just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trained data set. But some trained data set will contain millions and millions of words and data that it can use as a trained data set to make decisions. Yeah, so it's going to make decisions. So what it's going to do is going to make decisions based on these words or data that is being built into the software. Okay, so it checks as you type your email. Then what it's going to do is it's going to select from whether any of these keywords are inside the email. It might not be accurate now, but when you build it, it's continue to develop it, become much more better and tested, and so on, become more better and better. So the more data set, the more trained data set, the more implementations or the use of artificial intelligence, they become more better and better. Okay, so what it's going to do that is going to find whether it's going to find these words. So these bad words is a database. Yeah, it's a variable, but it stores the data into that database. So if your email, if you find it, okay, for words in the bad words, so the words, yeah, the words inside the bad word, if it's among the bad words, okay, then what it's going to do is that it's going to check it. Once it's checked it and it finds it, it's going to help be careful this email might be spam or phishing. It depends on what is found inside it, inside that email, based on the set of data, trained data. That okay. Otherwise, it said this email looks okay. So when we talked about artificial intelligence, is a line of code that have a trained data. Those trained data is used to make decisions. Okay, based on what it found or based on, so they continue to develop it, continue to put, so the more trained data sets artificial intelligence will have, the more better it can make that decisions. But as far there's a safety design, So if we're going to deploy this code now for users, for people to use it, it has to be checked correctly. We have to be able to make sure there's no bias. There's a safety design there. There's a lot of issues, okay, a lot of things there that does not compromise, okay, human safety and so on and so forth. Then if we're able to work. Okay, so if you try that, there are some things that you need to correct. So there are some like that print, there's no quote on it. So make sure you check all this information at work. So that is a way of whereby, you know, developing artificial intelligence has kind of step-by-step how it work. Any questions so far before we go to before I hand over to Prince or Sarah to do some more introductions to history of artificial intelligence? Any questions so far? Okay. Right. If there's some question, we're gonna move on a little bit. Okay. So yeah, just gonna move on to look at. Okay. So I'll just talk a little bit about artificial intelligence. Then I'm going to hand over to Princess Sarah to talk about history of artificial intelligence. Okay. Broadly, computer system designed to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. So human intelligence. Well, people say where they always ask me these questions: whether artificial intelligence will replace human, or will all jobs be completely wiped out? The answer is no. Artificial intelligence is not going to replace human intelligence at all. It's going to work side by side with human intelligence. It's having a friend. So artificial intelligence will be a human friend that will makes human to work smarter. Of course, people are going to lose jobs. Yes, they're going to lose many entry jobs has been lost already. Even here in the UK, many entry jobs is being lost. Many supermarkets now, they're employing self-checkouts using the introduction of artificial intelligence for recruitment and so on. So it's already happening. And here in the UK, our unemployment rate have risen from 4.2 to 4.7%. Okay, so because of low young people leaving schools now, many of them, about 60% of them are unemployed because they don't have the skills, technical skills, like, you know, like tech skills for them to find the right jobs. For many jobs now in the UK, they require a lot of technological jobs, able to use this, able to use that, able to analyze data, able to use artificial intelligence safely. So many of these things all this tech are not coming out in the job spec. Okay, so making predictions, classify information, generate content, support decisions making. So a useful simplified relationship is this: artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Machine learning is subset of artificial intelligence. So machine learning is part of artificial intelligence. It's part of it. They're able to look at and learn about system, the data patterns, and so on and so forth. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning. So deep learning is part of machine learning. Machine learning is also part of artificial intelligence. So machine learning is it's artificial intelligence that can able to make decisions and look at data patterns by itself. A deep learning is a process whereby they use multi-layer neural networks for them to be able to work on its own and make decisions without human interventions and so on. Okay, so try to tell you everyday things we use artificial intelligence for: recommendations, search engines, imaging, and also medical image analysis, predictions. You can see a lot. These are just simple ones that in our everyday life, but there are a lot of things we can use artificial intelligence for today. Okay, so I'll leave it to Princess Sarah. If you stay there, can you share light on history of artificial intelligence before we move forward?
Good morning. Please, I'm audible.
Hello.
Sir. All right. Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful session thus far. It's been great. I've learned a lot. Good morning, everybody. It's nice being here to learn with everyone here. Learn, practice hands-on, and also get to contribute. Uh, thank you very much, sir. All right. So let's get straight away to. Let me share over here. So. Uh, Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Good morning once again. Good morning. And it's great. It's nice to be here and to get to learn and contribute. So today, I would like to take us on a brief history through the history. I would like to take us on on a brief journey through the history of artificial intelligence. All right. So when we hear the term artificial intelligence (AI) today, many of us immediately think about ChatGPT, Claude, Microsoft Copilot, AI agents, and other technologies. So which have become increasingly visible in our everyday lives nowadays. So, but modern AI did not just appear overnight. All right, what we are experiencing today is the result of more than 7 decades of research. All right, 7 decades of research, experimentation, breakthroughs, failures, progress. All right. So in the next few minutes, we're going to travel. We're going to travel from a simple question asked in the 1950s, which was the question was that can machines think? That was the question that was asked in the 1950s. To today's system that can now generate content and use tools. So to make our lives better. So I will take. So let's get to where this journey began. I wasting much time. Let's get. All right. So let's start in 1950 with Alan Turing. Turing was one of the most influential mathematicians and computer scientists of the 20th century. So in his influential paper back then, the paper was titled "Computing Machinery and Intelligence." He explored a question that would become fundamental to artificial intelligence, and that question was that can machines think? That was a question he was asking then. So and now that question sounds simple anyway, but it actually creates a difficult psychological problem back then. So, what exactly does this mean for a machine to think? That was that was one of the questions they were asking then. How would we know whether a machine is intelligent? All right. So, and also, instead of trying to define thinking directly, Turing, Mr. Turing, Alan Turing here proposed an approach that was based on observable behavior. And it became known for the this what we call the imitation game. That was what later associated with this Turing test, with Turing test that it developed. So the basic idea was to consider whether a machine could produce behavior that was difficult to distinguish from that of a human in interactions and in other things. So Turing wasn't saying that passing a test would necessarily prove a machine truly think like a human, but uh, those ideology brought about was what helped shift the conversation towards um, uh, it was what helped shift the conversation of people started thinking about could machine really think? Can machine really demonstrate intelligent behavior? So that was Alan Turing's development and in the year 1950. So, and that question, can machine really think? Can it demonstrate intelligent behavior? Is what helped set the stage for the emergence of AI as a research field back then. All right. So, 6 years later, in 1956, we reached another major milestone. A group of researchers gathered at Dartmouth. Dartmouth College in the United States, for what is now known as the Dartmouth Summer Research Project on Artificial Intelligence now. So it's now known as Dartmouth Summer Research for on Artificial Intelligence. That's what it's called now. So among the key figures associated with this effort was a computer scientist called John McAtee. So who used the term artificial intelligence, right? So the researchers were interested in exploring whether an aspect of human intelligence like reasoning, learning, problem solving could be enough to could describe machines. Sorry, the researchers were interested in exploring whether aspect of human intelligence like problem solving, reasoning, language, whether it's machines could simulate them. So that was a significant moment when because AI that time was beginning to move from psychological question, from what Turing was asking. It was now beginning to move from a psychological question into a scientific and engineering discipline. So researchers this time around we're now asking, can machine reason? Can they solve problem? Can they understand language? Can knowledge can knowledge be represented inside a machine? So they were now asking a different question now, right? So that was so this oh so that's what led to so that's what that leads us to this era during the 1960s and 1970s. So during this 1960s and 1970s, researchers explored what we can broadly describe as symbolic AI. So, so please, am I audible? It's echoing over here.
Yeah. You're okay. You're okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, sir. It was echoing. So during the 1960s and 1970s, researchers explored what we can describe now as symbolic AI. The idea was that intelligence could be represented using symbolic rules, symbols, rules, logic, and uh, explicit knowledge. So a machine could be given an information about a problem and then use logical reasoning to arrive at an answer at a given answer that time. So researchers also experimented with areas like the natural language processing. They experimented with robotic. They experimented with game playing. They experimented with problem solving. So there was lots of optimism that time during this 1960 to 1970. So, and they begin to see some they begin to there was begin to be they begin they began how will I put it, they were beginning to see some optimism in what in this whole research and stuff they were doing. So some researchers later believed that machines with human level intelligence could potentially be developed, and that is what and but there was a problem that time. Computers were still limited compared to what we have today. It was still limited. Uh, they had limited power processing power. They had limited memory. They had limited ability to deal with complex reward uh, problem scenarios and all of that. So, but as expectations fail to match a reality, um, interest declined during that certain period. But the 1960 to 1970, that period was referred to as AI winter. It's AI winters. So they later referred that period to AI winters. So and it is very important. That period was an important. It really it was an important lesson from AI history that AI progress has never been a straight line. So that was the term they used that period that was a lesson from that period, that AI progress has never been a straight line. And so they continued the research from that age, from the 1960 to 1970, they progressed some with their research, and by the 1980, one of the important approach to AI was the development of expert systems. Um, the basic idea was relatively straightforward. This time around, there was development of expert system. Like, it was it was like as if it was if we could capture the knowledge of human experts and represent this knowledge as rules, we could really build computer systems that can make recommendations, that can make decisions within a specialized area. So, for example, imagine a medical expert system. Like, it could contain rules like, if a particular symptom is present and another condition is also present, then consider a particular diagnosis. So, this was an example of what the rules that was made in this era. So, in another domain, if a certain condition is detected, they can recommend a particular action. So the system this time around were so useful because they could reproduce an aspect of expert decision making within narrow domains. So that it was useful during this period, but they also exposed an important limitation. There was still a limitation in this. Despite the improvement, there was still a limitation during this time. In that humans had to provide much of the knowledge and rules. So there have to be a massive provision of knowledge rules for this system to be able to act in the way they express it. So the reward is extremely complex, and it is impossible to manually write a rule for every situation. So that limitation was what helped to motivate a different approach. So, and this different approach they were working on was that, what if instead of programming every rule, we could actually allow machines to learn patterns from data. So because of the limitation they had, because having to provide the machine with so much rules and everything is not feasible, it's difficult. So they came up with an approach, which is, what if instead of programming these rules into this computer, what if we just allow machines to learn these patterns by themselves from
Okay.
data? So all right, so that brings us to machine learning.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So I will say thank you very much,
Uh,
Prince. It seems that we're going to be running out of time. A lot of people are, a lot of people are kind of signing off. So we're going to, so I will say, if we can start to
okay.
run it up, that would be great. Yeah. Is that okay? Thank you.
Okay, all right, all right. I'll just quickly. So that was what brings us to machine learning during the 1990s. All right. So, and the fundamental change was now how we approach the problem. So machine learning came on board and it changed the old stuff. So instead of now manually providing rules for AI, so the algorithm was not identify patterns in data. So that was that. That was so in 1997. We had the famous moment in AI history, which is the IBM Deep Blue defeat world chess champions, and the person of Gary Kasparov in a match. So this took place in 1997. This was a significant moment in AI. Because of time, I will not go deep. So that was then we now got into the 2010s. All right. So this period brought another transformation, the rapid advancement of deep learning. So deep learning this period was used deep learning used neural networks with multiple layers to learn complex patterns from large amount of data. So they were so this was what happened during this time, in the year 2020. That so then to the one of that led us to in 2017 we had generative AI. Let me just because of time. So, all right. So that was what in 2020. This was where artificial intelligence became more visible to the general public. Generative AI now can now produce content. They can, based on instructions from users, they can generate text, images, audio. So, but I think the most important change here is not simply that AI can generate things, is that AI is now because AI became much easier for ordinary people to interact with. All right. So what next? So where does AI go from here? One of the most important decision we are seeing today is the movement from generative AI towards AI agents. So a traditional software application usually normally awaits a user to tell it what to do. But now AI agents can do further things. They can execute tasks and they can do a lot. So you can basically tell the AI and AI agents what are the best flights from Lagos to London. Help me schedule my flight. AI agents, based on the AI agents, can do everything for you. So if I had to summarize this entire journey in one sentence, um, I would say we have moved from asking whether machines could think to now building systems that can learn, generate, reason, and assist us, and also increasingly act on our behalf. So from Turing question in the 1950 to Dartmouth workshop in 1956, through symbolic AI to deep blue period to deep learning transformer era, generative AI era, we are now we are now in the in the age of where system can basically do a lot of stuff for us. So we are but I would the most important question for the next chapter is simply, what can AI do? It is what should we allow AI to do, and how should we build and use it responsible? That's the most important question now, and that's what the next chapter should be. All right, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much, sir, for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Back to you, sir. All right.
Thank you very much, Prince. That is fantastic. Kayode, that is fantastic being here all morning. That's really good. We really appreciate that. So what we're going to just quickly do to round up. It's not an easy task where you ask to present to people. It's not easy. So, and I'm very pleased that Kayode stayed behind to listen to what we're doing. And so on and so forth. We're just going to round it up in a minute. Okay, so we're going to do one more code, then we're going to stop it there. So there are these codes which I will send the resources across. Using the NumPy is kind of very good for also numerical data and structures as well. So there are many other things I put some solutions there as well to pandas as well, which is being used for data analysis and also artificial intelligence training as well. So the next one I'm going to do is about passwords. So I'm going to share the link to that. It's artificial intelligence software coding that can be expanded upon to create a very high-end password. It's kind of like a password guide. So I've sent it out on the chat. So if you go and load it up and go and run it, and that is the last one I'm going to do today. It's more like a chatbot. Okay, so a chatbot is a project that we can. So if you copy it across, okay, sort of coded it, then I will explain the step-by-step on it. So that gives us a little bit. So let me just, okay, so that's mine. Okay, so this code, if you want to run it, that would be great. So you can see my screen, or you can copy yours and go and run it. So here is an online safety chatbot. Okay, so chatbot is artificial intelligence, and most of the artificial intelligence we use today is from chatbots. Okay, so the print there, which we already know, they are just used for human machine interactions. So welcome to online safety chatbot. Anything you write there will be displayed on the screen as kind of interactions. The print type by to leave. So if you work in there, you want to just exit the software, exit the AI software, you just type there by, and it will just close the software. While true is kind of a loop, yeah. So it's a while loop, yeah. So while loop. Okay. So question equals input u then dot lower. That lower here, it change anything you type to lowercase. Yeah. So in Python programming, if you type that here, anything you type, even though it's in capital letter, it will change it to a lowercase letter, uppercase to lowercase. Just yeah. So if question equals by, so let's say you type by, okay, in the question here. So that is input. Question is input. So if we type by on it, then that means that it's going to print chatbot. So goodbye. Stay safe online. So that's what it's going to be displayed, and it breaks it means that it will close it. Okay. Elif is used for decisions, which we said earlier. Elif, strong password in question. Yeah. So here, so you see that question here is a variable. Yeah, that question here is a variable. So what we're trying to do here, the Elif, they say strong password. If somebody typed that strong password inside the input, yeah, okay, in question or password in question, this is what it's going to print. So these are set of data. So what I'm saying that this strong password in question is the data, password is the data. So if anything I type, either strong password or password, then it's going to print this out. Elif, okay, if I say share my password in question as well, so if you type that, should I share my password? It's going to say no. The chatbot is going to say no. Keep your password private. If I type there, Elif, okay, phishing. So it's going to say phishing is a fake message. You know, so you can see a lot of if statement, Elif, all this will be true. Anything I type or those keywords, this is what's going to be displayed. Anything I type, what a friend requests, this is what's going to be displayed. So the chatbot will be continue to reply. Okay, so if you go and run it, so you will see what I meant by that. So these are, so you can see that, so that's you, that is me. Yeah. So if I type there, say strong password, yeah, the chatbot said use at least 12 characters with letter, numbers, and symbols. Okay, so you can see if I say phishing email, yeah, phishing is a fake message that tries to steal your personal information. So you can see that I'm talking to a machine. So what will actually happen is that you now have these two programs. This set of codes, you don't say it. We don't see that in artificial intelligence. We don't say it. What we normally see is this one here. This one here, that's what we normally see. This one here, so you can see that the program is divided into two. So you have your source code and you have the object code. The source code is the code that we normally see that is hidden from us, which is used by these artificial intelligence companies or programmers who have written it or companies who have written it. So that code is with them. So we don't see that. So when these instructions are translated, when you say run it, it means that they are translated into machine code. So this is the source code, and that is the object code. So the object code is a machine language. So it's not being translated and it's not being executed. So that's what we're going to be saying. Okay, this aspect of the code, which is this object code. In other words, that is the executed code from the source code. So that's what we normally see in artificial intelligence. Okay, in just like this one, like the chatbot we're seeing there. But it depends on how you build the source code. That's where you're going to, that will work. So if this source code, if it's not built in a safety design in artificial intelligence, what is going to happen is that the object code will also be biased in a way. Then we have a serious problem. Okay, so that's kind of how these artificial intelligence are built. You have the source code and you have the object code, because the source code or the code that's been designed as artificial intelligence is billions, sometimes billions of lines of code with billions of data, training data that's built into the software. So the software is executed in different programming languages which has been used. Okay, because you can design, as I tell you, using different programming languages. It can be Python, it can be, or it can be a combination of Python and C#. If it's a web-based, they're going to use JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and other programming code. They're going to incorporate Python. Python is used by social media companies also to design some of their agents, okay, artificial intelligence agents, AI agents, and so on. So it depends on which company, what kind of programming language they're going to be using. Most programming languages they can use to design it. Like this one, Python is also very, very good in designing artificial intelligence tools and AI agents as well. So that's kind of how it works. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, is a line of code. Those codes are designs, and those codes are executed into the machine language, which is binary codes. But the programming language that is being used is called high-level language, need to be translated into machine code because it's English-like. So if it's English-like, the machine doesn't understand it. There's computers, our mobile phones and so on, they don't understand our own language. They have their own language, which is binary machine language. So for those apps and those artificial intelligence to work, you have to write the code, and the code have to be translated to the language of the machine, which is machine code. And the machine code will now run that the computers can able to understand it. So if it's written badly, or there's no safety designs, the machine doesn't understand it. It's just going to run it. It's just going to go with it. And we're not going to go into that. There are many things that is, designer or artificial have to follow to make sure the artificial intelligence is safe for use, and also for their AI agents to be designed in a way that is safe. Like now, you see that many AI agents is escaping from a test site and going to attack other companies because the sandbox they built for it, okay, it's not robust enough, and it makes the AI agent to escape. Well, some people they always email me, so what they mean by AI agent escaping? Is it a machine or a worm that just escaped? No, it's a line of code. It's just a line of code. The instructions is just instructing the machine. Say, look, I want to test X, Y, Z. I want you to check whether you can able to attack these machines. And of a suddenly, because the instructions, so when they say, well, you escaped from a sandbox, for me, well, that is your fault as a company or as a programmer, because you are the programmer that instructs that to happen. It's not just like a dog or something like that. I just kind of run away from home and go and attack your neighbor. It doesn't work like that. It's a line of code. So if a line of code makes escape to go and attack other companies, it's you that wrote the code. It's your fault. You shouldn't allow your line of code to able to attack. It's just like say, because you can write the code and say, right, log into the IP address, not 1.2.3.4. Yeah. Once you log in, use this port number, so. Yeah. Once you're there, okay, reads the content of hard drive. If found, let's say, .exe, which is exec file, delete. Else, copy, transfer to server address number, IP addresses, so. Well, it's a piece of instructions. So what you're telling the computer to do is that, look, log in, find IP addresses, so, with port numbers, so, okay? When you get there, you read the content. If you find XYZ, copy it, send it to these locations, and save it. Okay, it's a line of code. So what the computer is going to do? So okay, it's just going to say, okay, I will do it. Okay, that's fine. Then what it's going to do is going to go and look for an IP address, because it's an IP address. What it's going to do is that the code you've instructed it to go and look for IP address servers and so. So it's going to go on the internet and go and look for that server IP address. It goes there, and you're able to find it. You find the port number, the port number is open, and it goes straight to the server. Yeah, yeah. You say scan it. Yeah, it's going to go and scan it, and you find. So if you find a file with .ext, yeah, you find that, copy it. Yeah, you copy it, send it. You send it to this server. You send it, save it. You save it. It's an instruction. So that's what the computer is going to do. So it's just the same thing, you know, you want your online banking. Okay, you want to bank, okay, save, transfer this amount. Well, it's based on instructions. So if the instruction is not right, it's not going to work. If whatever you give the computer, that's what it's going to do. It's garbage in, garbage out. It's based on line of code and instructions. What you instruct the computer to do, that's what it's going to do. So when they say AI agents escaped, it doesn't make any sense to an expert like me, because it's based on line of code. You are responsible as a company, and the program are responsible for that instructions, okay, for that computer to go rogue, because it's based on line of code. Okay, so I hope today's session has been great, and so we're just going to round up there, and then we'll finish for today. So if there's any questions, I would like to take questions, and I will share. Okay, I will share all the resources today, and so that we can have a copy of that. Any question before we go? Okay, if there's no question, thank you very much. Thank you, Prince. So that's really good. Thank you, Kaide, for staying to the end. It's not been easy, mostly Saturday morning, and I hope everybody, these sessions is very productive to understand artificial intelligence work with the line of code, and I hope to expand on this knowledge. This is just a basic introduction to it. We'll look at more intermediate workshop on this to build on the knowledge we got today. All right, I will share the resources with everyone. Those who attended, those who have not attended, we'll share the resources through your email, so you can share. You can see all the resources there through an email link. All right, thank you very much, and I will see you guys soon. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, Kaide. Bye, Praise. Bye. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Sir, sorry. Can you hear me,
Yeah.
sir?
Yeah, I can hear.
All right. Once again, thank you very much for this session. It was great, and I really appreciate that. What do you think we should improve on? What do you think we should work on next, sir? Concerning ICAP, to move to the next level, what do you think we should work on next, and areas of improvement, sir?
You mean like what the session today?
In terms of sections, everything all around, yeah.
Well, so I don't get the question right. You mean that what you should work on, or what? I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think I should work on? We can work on for improvements for the next level. Don't know if you is a coin. I mean, what do you think I can work on, like improvements, and what do you think we should do
Okay.
to get out there?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll just go through some of the things we can you can work on currently. In terms of, you said, first of all, let's look at the programming aspect. I would suggest you do a little bit of learning on Python, mostly the basics. It's very vital. But you're very good at it. You're very good at what you do, which I've seen a lot. You're very, very good at what you do. But understanding a little bit about programming, that will also help you a lot. I'm talking about yourself as then we're going to look at other things as well. So you're very good at that, so, which is really good. That will really help you in terms of learning the basics, mostly the Python programming aspect of it. Because Python is big in terms of that. But then you have other programming languages. But Python, if you have the basic knowledge of Python, the input, the process, printing, if statements, writing files, writing data to a file, able to use decisions and so on and so forth, able to use Python to able to query data and so on. That is very, very, very good. Okay, it's very, very good. That will help you a lot especially you want to move wide to international, work or go and learn in university, moving from Africa. So that is really vital. So because currently now you know this stuff already in terms of that. So that's the only area I will advise you on. Then you have a degree, have you? You have
Yeah.
you have the what is your
Yes.
degree on? I forgot.
You mean my BSc?
Yeah, you have your BSc
My,
in
yeah, in accounting. Yeah, I have my BSc in
okay,
accounting. But over the
okay,
years, I've developed technical experience, and I've acquired other certifications,
yeah,
including, yeah, from Microsoft and on
okay.
cybersecurity cloud.
So
So
yeah,
yes.
so that would be very helpful for you, going to study abroad as well, which you're already doing anyway. So if you, for example, there are many universities like in Poland, which is very cheaper. There's university here. Well, I'll send you some links of sponsorship, master's degree sponsorship. There's also sponsorship in Australia as well and Canada. I'll try and look for all that for you. So that will really help you a lot to develop yourself and to move up in that. So because you're hardworking, so I will share those kind of information with you for your own development. But the Python area, I would say you should learn a little bit about it,
Yeah.
the more programming aspect. So that will be very, very helpful for you. Um, in terms of jobs in abroad or here in the UK, it's very, very hard these days to sponsor cyber security or whatever expert to come and work here. Before it used to be easy, like say 5 years ago, it's much easier. So like ICAP, we could easily hire staff to come and work with us here in our office. So it's quite easy at that time, but now it's not. So it is very, very hard now to sponsor somebody who is not studying here or who is not living here. So it's very, very difficult. Okay, so that is the only problem there. But to come and study, if you like say you got like so somebody can pay your fees or you can apply for scholarship, which I'll send you the link in a minute. Today I'll send you the link today or something like that. Then you can able to apply and see whether they can they able to fund your educations and yeah and apply for it. Okay, so we can help you in your development. Now, in terms of ICAP development, we don't really pursue people to come and join. We're not into chase people. You know what I mean? We don't do that. We allow people to figure it out that this is the right organizations to join. So if we contact a company and they don't reply to us, we don't really contact them back. We don't do that. Our principles is that we know what we're doing. We know we can help companies to able to help them. So if we make a first of contacts and we've told them about us and they say they're going to get back to us, we don't chase them. Okay, so that is what we do, is for them to come back to us and look, we want to actually do this because it's their own me. So if you contact universities, say, look, this is what we can do with you guys, and they become they don't want to really engage. There's no point. There's no point really chasing them up unless you want to. But our principle is that if we contact you and you start to be snobby, we don't. Okay, that's just our basic principles. So we don't, yeah. So that's how we do. So they don't look at us to be. We just kind of maybe inconveniencing them. You know what I mean? So we don't do that. So like many universities we work with, they come to us directly that want to work. Like we have University of Bahrain, a lot of university here. University currently now we're working with university in Pakistan, which we're working with, and also Dubai. So we have all this university, they just come to us directly. So that's the thing. So if you contact people, say, look, join this, and they start to just ignore them. We don't, you know what I mean? So that's what we do. In terms of developing the ICAP certifications portal, we are on the final stage now. So we are on stage, because it's stage one. We finished stage one, we finished stage two now. We're on stage three, so it's stage four. So it's going to end up with stage four. So stage three now, we are testing we are not testing the organization's assessment section of it. So the individual certification has already been done. So we are now doing the organization certification. So it's already, we should finish that by Monday, the testing of that one. So that will be there. The final stage is stage 4. It's kind of looking at the whole overall setup, our code, making sure we do our testing and do kind of security checks for all our code that has been designed on it. So then we should be off and running. Well, right now we are running now anyway, because some people already doing the certifications already individually, but full-fledged will be in 2 weeks' time. We should be on, and we're developing our advertising video, which will be ready by Monday as well to advertise it, to be able to share with our members and also share it in social media. So that's kind of where we are. Then now we contact people if they want to join the organization. So what you could do, if you want to, is to contact one, not now, once we finish our video. So once we finish that by Monday, the promo video, finish on Monday, then you contact companies like organizations and banks and so on. You can just email them that, they can do certifications on. We'll send you some of the email template for it. And if company they don't reply, that's fine. We're not bothered. Okay, so if they want it, they will come to us. So that's kind of what we do. So in terms of what you're doing there for ICAP, we appreciate what you're doing. Okay, we do appreciate it. I'm traveling through West Africa early next year, so I'm traveling from Dakar to Freetown to Ghana to Lagos and to South Africa, across West Africa, to do some work. And I'll be in Lagos for about maybe 3 days or so. I'm working with some banks there in Lagos. So probably if you live in Lagos, I might be able to see you as well. Okay, so that's so that's kind of where we are. Many projects that is coming up pipeline, we're just waiting. Mostly West Africa projects. It's not on board yet. We want to make sure you work on this project, but we're still waiting for some of their project partners to commit to it. So many of them they're on final stage. So we're just waiting for that to commit. Mostly the Sierra Leone project, which is supposed to start in October. Yeah, it's supposed to start in October, but we're still waiting for them. So it's on final stage. They send everything to their president, so we're just waiting for that. So if that one able to go ahead, hopefully, then we should be able to start in October. We'll get some of the work. We'll get some work for you to do, paid work to do, because we're going to do a lot of training. But we just, touching wood, just make sure whether they approve it or not. So we send everything down to president. And you know how African things work. It takes ages and and at the end it's nothing. So we'll see. So we're not banking on it, but hopefully if you work well. So we are expected to train for 500,000 youths in Sierra Leone. That's the project. So we've done everything already. We've done all the meeting with the ministers and all that. They're very on board. So we're just waiting, these people, they very so things doesn't move very fast in Africa. So we'll see. So, but if that won't come on board, that was a big project for us. So so we'll see how things work out. Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for that. Thank you for the advice. And right now, I'm currently not that intermediate on Python, but I'm currently working on it. I'm trying to get master at it because I'm using it for AI apps and agents, which I'm building. So I'm trying to learning the full stack. Trying to build, secure, and operate. So I want to be the guy that can do all the full stack out there. So concerning that, I'm working on it, and in no distant time, I'm going to be master in it. So, concerning traveling over there, the one you talked about, actually, they can be. I don't know if they can be remote. I can do remotely. Maybe internship I can get do remotely from here, Nigeria. That would be greatly. That would be nice. Maybe paid internship, or entry that I can get to do remotely. I would greatly appreciate that, so I can get to practice and so on, contribute meaningfully to the acquisition. Or
I mean that we are expanding. We currently discussing, as I said before, with a big university in Pakistan. They're very, very good in terms of what they want to do. we send them some of we'll send a proposal already. So there are many projects that will be coming up. It's just being patient. Okay, so it's about patience. We know that you work very hard for us. We know that. So but at the same time, this project, like people talks a lot, or we're going to do X, Y, Z, but most of the projects we do it now, we can do it in-house. But once the project, if we get extra project from now on, it's going to be difficult for us to do it in-house. We will need an external hand to be able to help us do it. Okay, so that's kind of where you're gonna be the first person we'll call to help us do some of those projects, because currently there are all the projects we already got in. We'll go right now. We can do it with our staff and people that is be working for us as well. So we've done that. So the next stage now, if we get any extra project now, we cannot do it ourselves. It's not because we're all loaded now with work. So hopefully, if those projects come on board, you will be on the first line of contact to work on some of this project, whereby it could be a paid project. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking for, and you are on top of the list for us to be able to do that. Most of those projects could be designing some resources, or designing some training content, or helping them to develop some artificial intelligence work. Like the rest of Pakistan, we want to do a joint research project do a artificial intelligence research project to develop AI for healthcare. Okay, they are very keen in healthcare. Okay, like healthcare and so on. So appointments and so on. So they're very keen on that research area. Okay, so but it have to be paid for. So those kind of projects come on board. We're going to need extra hand to do those kind of projects to be able to do it. Okay, so we have most of those kind of projects all over the whole world, but they are on the final stage now that we are waiting for. And most of those projects takes time because of bureaucracy and so on and so forth. They pass on one to so it's about being patient with us. If you are patient with us, then you should be able to get some pie out of what we're trying to do. Okay.
Thank you very much for that, sir. Thank you very much for that. I'm grateful for that. Thank you very much. But what about maybe outside ICAP? Maybe outside, maybe you can recommend me to some.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we do get partners. The problem is that many of these companies where you recommend, mostly people outside their domain. If it's outside their domain, they're very skeptical about it, because they're going to be introduced to their own systems, how their system works and so on. They're not too keen on that kind of people who are outside. That is the problem. That is the problem. So mostly anybody outside their domain, let's say if we have a partner that living, we have some partners in the United States, for example, who need a webinar, they need some work doing, and they would not allow somebody from outside Europe, outside United States to do it for them. You see what I mean? So they have their own way. They want people to be within the law, within the area of the law, which have very good law, and because they're going to be exposed to their own company information and so on. So it becomes a very difficult position for us, whereby we want to recommend people who are outside the domain, but they will not allow that. So it becomes a big problem for mostly now. Years ago, it used to be much easier. I was like, say, 10 years ago, when I was developing a project for a company, and I asked them, so that, this aspect of the project, they want me to say, yeah, just go ahead. And guys from India are able to help me do some of the work. That's easy. It's very easy. But now, if I'm doing some project, and I say, right, they say that we can, it have to be within the UK or within Europe, or because of the law, because the law is very restricted. Because you're going to be, if they do a project with a company, depends on what kind of projects that means you have to have a lot of details about the company, how they operates. Let's say pen testing, for example, that means you have to know how the company works, how they operate. That means they're exposing their vulnerability as well. So they don't really allow that, or they do it, like, say, for example, ethical hacking as well, which is something we get all the time as well. then that means that somebody outside the company who is not within the domain will get access to most of this vital critical information which they don't want people to know. So we have all this dilemma as well. But as I said, is that there are some projects which are coming which is not too sensitive, because most of the things we get is very sensitive projects. But some of them are not sensitive, non-sensitive, that are kind of things that will let you to handle when the time comes. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Okay.
sir, for that. One quick. I know, so I know you're very busy. But if what's one thing if you can advise me, because right now I'm actively searching for opportunity where I can get to work entry level where I can get to work and contribute meaningfully. So I mean, maybe it can be remotely or so. So what's one advice you give me to work on to so I can also get a role to contribute and where I can grow.
You mean like for ICAP or any other place? Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Any other place, any
Okay.
place.
Remote work is very remote work outside the EU or within is very is it no it's very a little bit tricky. A
Okay.
little bit tricky. So remote work outside is very tricky. Like in the UK, it's quite easy. You can get remote work very easily. But when you are outside the domain or outside EU, it's very difficult to able to get that. But having said that, but you have to also be very careful about most of those remote work. Some of them they're not real or some fake jobs and so on. But they are doing remote work now on AI testing, testing artificial intelligence, AI testing. If you let me just check 1 minute. Uh, but you have to do your due diligence for them because you just have to be very careful with all this AI testing. There are some AI. Yeah. I'll send you the. I'll say I'm just checking something that. So anyway, so if you searching for so you could able to search for some AI testing tools or testing. Okay, there are some there even in LinkedIn. If you search for artificial intelligence artificial intelligence tester, that is more. Yeah, so that is more remote work, but you have to be very you have to do your own due diligence because they know that it's very it's being used a lot. You know, so a lot of company wants AI artificial intelligence tester. So those are content you have to look for. You have to check. So that indeed there is much more global search, job search. It contains a lot of jobs. Yeah, you can search for. Have you seen it before? Indeed, you have to register for it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you register. Once you register, upload your CV. Okay. So that is one. There another one called. Before I go, I'm just. I think it's CV library. Let me see. Yeah, CV library. So I'll send that one as well.
Oh,
So this one as well, you can also use it to search for remote jobs outside the domain. So it's called CV Library. These two, they're very vital. So if you register, upload your CV there, you write clearly that you are outside. Yeah, you are outside the. Yeah, then tell them where you are, and I'll put your distance there. There's probability you might find something. Um,
oh,
then if you need references, then we can able to help you with that.
all
Okay,
right.
so like so like some pen testing remotes, it might yeah. So so there are a lot of kind of remote jobs you can also search there for. Okay, all right.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. You were talking about AI testing. What about it's not like cloud related? Can I find that remotely?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, everything is there. You just have to search for it. So remote cloud, yeah, you can do that. You just search for anything. So like cloud as well. You can, yeah, cloud, yeah, remote. So you search for the job, then you put remote, yeah. So you can do there are a lot of you can filter it. So you filter it to remote and yeah, or you put that, yeah, and you're able to tell you. Okay, so that's how you do. And some of the companies you could some of the companies do sponsor. They do sponsor international IT experts as well. So you have to keep on searching it and see whether search for what kind of job you want and so on. And some of them will even put that they will hire and sponsor you as well. So those two websites, they are very, very good okay, for jobs, global jobs as well. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I will look into it and I will. Thank you very much. I appreciate. So real quick, sir, concerning I think I also have given you this feedback the other time, but you said uh, we scheduled for a meeting. So concerning the outreach I made a few weeks ago, so I also have given you the feedback where I met with the executives of Martin Top. I think I sent you the message.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you
Yeah.
did. Yeah, you
So
sent me a message about that. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
for the meeting, we cannot send somebody for a meeting where it's not established. It's not going to happen. What will happen is that we can do virtual meeting. That's it. So if they want a meeting, we can arrange, and we can do visual meeting. Okay, to able to discuss. So once it's finalized and contract is signed and they're ready to go, then we can actually go there. But we cannot go there where there's nothing there to able to discuss. You know what I mean? So we always send our staff or myself traveling if there is established relationship first. So the best way to approach this is to arrange a virtual meeting, online meeting. So
okay.
when that meeting is arranged, then we can attend it. We attend it virtual. We can attend it with my colleague. We attend. Then we discuss. Once everything is finalized and they're ready to go, and so if they're going to do a conference and they want us to run the conference with them, and it's established, we discuss about how, in terms of like the one we normally do, the universities they pay for our flights, they pay for our accommodations, they pay for our transport, everything they pay for it. Then we go and deliver. So we have to have all those understanding first. But initially, the first thing is organizing an online meeting first.
Okay, all right. That's I think because normally you told me the approach I used before was the proposed workshop. So they were like no they was there was like they needed someone from ICAP itself, like a senior staff, and they were having trust issues and all of that. So I told them, okay, well, I'm going to communicate with them, like maybe we can have a meeting and so can get. So they also made a suggestion of we doing the virtual workshop in because they have a uh, um event when it comes to workshop. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, yeah,
All right. But they told me that if we want to do this work, we can use their facilities. That if we can do it properly, and there are a lot of students that we attend, over 1,000 plus we attend. So they did some and so I have the some of the professors, the doctors number, the head department. So I told them I'm going to get back to them. So they gave me some suggestions that was quite okay. So I think the next thing maybe meeting with them. No, no.
yeah. So yeah, I think you're right. Because I do understand most of Africa, that trust is not there. We have a guy in Burundi at the minute in Burundi, and he's having the same issues when they approach, that oh no, there's a bit skeptical about things. But what we normally do first is that online meeting. because that online meeting build that trust. So if they want to go ahead, we're not saying we're going to come and run it. We collaborate and run it. We don't run conference by ourselves, because that is not right. We collaborate with the university. The university have to be on board. They have to have the needs that they need us, not we needing them. So that is very vital. So if they need us, so when we pitch the universities, is that we can help, we can work together and collaborate. So that collaboration is involved them also committed to it. Okay, so they committed. So okay, right, let's run this conference because it's going to benefit our students and it's going to benefit our universities. Our university then will work out the MOU, memorandum of understanding. They are okay. Let's run it together. How many students going to attend? They tell us. Okay, they're going to. Okay, we can run the workshops, and it's going to maybe 500 go attend. Okay, who's going to pay for it? Okay, because one is also cost money for run a conference. We're going to run a conference. One, you're going to pay for our staff that is coming there. They have to be paid for in terms of their flights, accommodations, and so on, transport. Who's going to pay for all that? Okay, so we're not going to spend our own money to come and help you as a university. You know what I mean? So you need us. We don't need you. That's kind of what we are. We don't need universities. We are here to help them to build their students, to build their universities. So that they need to understand that. So when we run that online meeting, that's where we'll not tell them, so look, yes, we can help you, we can collaborate, but we need each other. Okay, we'll need each other as a collaboration. If it's a collaboration and partnership, that means we need each other. One, we're going to come there and expose your students to global initiatives of tech ecosystem. That's what we're doing here. We'll open their eyes. We'll open the eyes of your students. I will give them the tools and the knowledge, okay, in their course that they are doing. And through this workshop, this is what they're going to learn, this is what they're going to know, and this is what they're going to acquire as skills and knowledge. So they understand that very, very clearly. So once they understand that, okay, right. So who's going to pay for that? We're not saying you should pay us for coming over, but you have to pay for our transport and accommodations, and that's what we do. We don't go there to say we're going to spend our money. We're not saying they should pay us to come and present. Some university they pay us to come and do it, but most universities they would not charge universities or would not charge companies. They invite us. You are inviting us to come and do it. Then you have to pay for all the expenses. Okay, so you want to charge students to attend, or you want to charge people to attend the conference or workshop, you can charge whatever you want. That's your own business. But our business is that we're coming to share our knowledge and expertise. So for that, you have to pay for our inconveniences of accommodation and flight. So that's kind of how it works. So we don't work and be out of pocket. It doesn't work that way. Okay, for us.
Yeah, I understand. But actually, we can get something started, like maybe if virtual, we can get it started with virtual at least. I mean, that can build that first trust. Then
Yes.
they can talk about coming.
Yeah.
All those can be discussed in the meeting anyway. So I think I will reach out to them again.
Yeah, you should reach out to them and arrange a conference. I'm free for the next 2 weeks. After next 2 weeks, I'm back. I'll be very, very busy. But if you can arrange it between next 2 weeks, or let's see if they're on, if they are on holiday, that's fine. But we can find time for it. That's no problem.
No, I mean the virtual meeting with ICAP, like maybe some principal officers with ICAP, so they can get to meet with you and the team to discuss.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Okay.
I'll talk.
Yeah. So that, because it's very vital for them to understand our point, because we don't want people to expect us to be Santa Claus, that we're here to give things for free. We don't. Okay, so we are giving our expertise, and our expertise is priceless. So if you want to get our expertise and our help, you need to also take care of the other side of things as well. So, and many partners we work with, they understand that very, very clearly. Okay, so those who understand it, we just say they should bug off. We don't want you. So that's what we do. Okay. So okay. All right. So okay. So thank you very much. And we appreciate what you're doing. It's really good. So just keep doing what you're doing. Okay. So hopefully we'll get somewhere one day. All right.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
All
Greatly
right. Thank you.
appreciate. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, have a wonderful weekend. Stay
And you
blessed.
too. And you.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.